Okay, my name is Gayle Miyaguchi. I'm from Upcountry Maui, and I teach the class at the campus, Maui campus, Maui campus. Yeah.
And then what is the practice or the cultural the ʻieʻie that you're demonstrating, and how did you come to learn?
So I'm teaching Ulana, or weaving, both lauhala and ʻieʻie, and then we're also going to touch on ʻUpena making. So I learned from different kumu. My first kumu in lauhala was Auntie Maluʻihi Lee from the Big Island, and her apprentice was Lynn, and so she was the one that really taught me how to make papale. My kumu in ʻieʻie is Kumu and Haunani sing from the Big Islands. And then to learn about the ʻUpena, my dad taught me how to patch nets and make nets, fishing nets.
So is ʻUpena something that's passed down, like generation to generation, has been in your family?
For me, it has, definitely, yeah.
Cool. And then, so my next question is, do you feel like obviously the craft is important to you personally, but do you feel like it's important for the lahui in general to continue to learn and perpetuate that?
Sure, yes. So definitely. So we want to do these things and use them in everyday life. So for example, when we did the ʻieʻie portion, we did fish traps, hinalea traps, and opai traps. So after we finished making the traps, we went down to the ocean, we had a retreat, and we actually tested out these traps. So that was like really fun for the class and for all of us. And then for the ʻUpena portion, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to make them, and the important thing is that they can learn how to at least patch the net so that they can patch nets, for their family.
Awesome, yeah. In a contemporary sense, like Ulana lauhala is really kind of associated with like accessories, like bracelets, papale, things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you just explained, I mean, it was more ʻieʻie, but Ulana can be for so much more, right? So
yes.
Family, fishing. Can you explain a little bit more about what this can be applied to, more than just accessories, but how it can?
So for me, I like to think about it as useful things that we're going to use in our daily life. So baskets, things to carry. I know they used to make the baskets for harvesting coffee. So just to make to use, yeah. Recently I made a basket for like a diaper bag. So using this knowledge to put it to use. Yeah.
And is it important for you to be doing this where you're teaching classes, you have cohorts going on, and you have passing this on to future generations and other people who can pass it on?
Yeah.
Is that important to you?
Yeah, very important, because well, now luckily it's coming back. Before it was very hard to find someone to teach you how to make anything like a papale. When I first started to weave, it was kind of rare. But now that we have gatherings, conferences that teach how to make these things, and so hopefully for me it's important because I would like for my grandchildren to be interested in it too. So hopefully they will, and they can teach. So it won't be such a hard thing to find someone to teach you. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's almost like because you came from a time where it was so hard to find a teacher, but you did that successfully, and now you're in an era where you're teaching, and it's so much more widely accessible and accepted.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that was almost your responsibility to keep pushing? And could you explain your journey with that?
So I mentioned my first kumu, her name was Maluʻihi Lee, and she would have a conference on the Big Island every year. And so she would always, every time I saw her, she would say, you gotta have a conference on Maui. You have to, make a conference on Maui. And so eventually when I got to working at a hotel, at a place that I could put this conference together, that was our mission. That was our mission, was to hold this conference so that we can create more kumu, so that, especially on Maui, because Maui, it didn't seem like it was as plentiful as, you know, other places. And so, yeah, that's the goal, is to teach so that we can hopefully make more kumu, and was the goal of my ʻieʻie teacher Kumula'au and Haunani. Their goal was to teach us as a cohort so that we eventually can go out and teach. Yes.
So in today's era, so much of our generation today, we've lost so much, but you know, there's such a desire to bring it back. But the way we're bringing it back is we have to go find the kumu, and it's not necessarily the practices or the way of doing the practices that were within our own family. But you explained that ʻUpena is something that was passed down.
Yeah.
So how important is that to you that you continue that, and then also your successive generations continue that as well, to keep that family tradition?
Yeah. So when I was young, I remember sitting on my dad's lap, and he taught me how to tie the knot for the ʻUpena. He would patch them a lot. So it would be in the living room, and he would be patching. You know, Dad, what are you doing? I must have been like, you know, 6 or that age. And he would put me in his lap and show me how to tie the knots. And so I was able to do that. And you know, as you get older, you kind of like lose interest in that kind of thing. And so as I got older and became interested in, you know, how to throw a net and all of that stuff, then I would ask him, you know, how do you do this? How do you do that? So he was able to teach me how to do these things, and I was able to do it on my own. But we don't, my boys, they don't know how to throw a net, you know, and I kind of would like, I think that's important for them to, you know, bring that back and learn how to throw a net and patch nets. And I have one grandson, so hopefully he'll be able to do that. But I guess it doesn't have to be only boys, right? You know, so and so the girls maybe can learn as well. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a good thing to have in your pocket, how to repair nets, and so. Maybe, you know, they can do it for other families as well, and maybe teach them as well. So, yeah.
Awesome. And the net itself isn't just a means of going and simply catching fish. It's a way to feed yourself and feed your community. So being able to capture this, being able to continue that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So when people come up to your booth area and they're asking questions and you're teaching them stuff and they're watching what you guys are doing, what do you hope that they walk away having learned, or what do you hope that they take from what you demonstrated to them? Yeah,
hopefully they're like hopefully they'll remember a little bit of the, you know, the terminology, but mostly it's that they feel good, they feel happy about making something with their own hands, and that will spark an interest, and eventually they'll come back to it. Yeah. Because it's been mostly children that we've been, you know, working with, so, yeah.
And is there a message that you would like to share if someone from a keiki from future generations was to watch this tomorrow, or even 20 years from now, what would you want them to take from this? What mana'o would you want to pass on to them?
Let's see. Well, there's a saying that we do in class that when you do something, do it well. Yeah. So when you learn to, hopefully when you do your practice, when you're practicing it, do it well. Good is not good enough. You want to do it the best you can.
And is there anything else you would like to share? Whether it be about Ulana or Hawaiian culture in general?
Just be willing to share, because it would be, you know, we don't want it to be lost and, you know, hard to find. So learn it well, and then you can turn around and share it.
Right on. Thank you very much.
Yeah.